What's up, YouTube? This is the Waddle Games here. We are in Blues Tower Defense 5, and if you can tell by the round number, we are playing in free play mode. But we're on a map that has probably like the smallest land space out of any map. And without pontoons, it's making it pretty difficult. I could only fit 3 temples. This is no more than like, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 23 snipers right here. This is 5, no, this is 6 spike factories. This is 7 ninjas. And 2 call to arms. I cannot fit anything else anywhere unless I want to spam modes, but that is not going to help me at all in free play. That'll only bring laggy misfortunes. So, you know, ZOMGs come out, so you gotta use the sabotage supply lines, put them all at half speed. Really nice tool to have. It slows down everything. It slows down balloons on screen and the balloons that are going to come on screen eventually. For 15 whole seconds. So if you have like 7 of these where the total cooldown time of them all is more, well, if you have 7 of them that last 15 seconds, that's like, I don't know, that's somewhere around 80. And the cooldown is like no more than 60 seconds. Well, the 15 seconds is off fast forward mode, and so is like the 60-second cooldown. But if you have enough, then you can basically juggle the effects. You always have a permanent slow. In early free play, you don't necessarily have to juggle your slow, but it becomes a major deal when you get into later free play and the balloons start moving at like the speed of ceramics. It's only about like round, I'd say 250 or so that mobs start going speedy, like really speedy. They go fast, needless to say. But these spike factories have the mob shredder. I didn't get you to Spike Storm. But these have Moab Shredder, which does, I think it's, I don't even know the damage. It's like 10 times or something, which is a lot. It's better with Tac Optimizer, but I don't have that. What I do have is Big Balloon Sabotage, which is crucial for high rounds. It puts all Moab class balloons to half of their health by default as soon as they spawn, which is very handy to have, and you're not going to get to round 300 or so without it, unless your setup is like godly. 1 second. Okay. Windows 8.1 really sucks. It's asking me to update to it. But anyways, so this is basically the setup. It's not much, but remember, I'm not using any pontoons. I only bought all of them just so I can get them to pro, just say I have it. But no pontoons. I have 400 monkey money, but I'm not buying anything with it yet. I'm probably just going to save up on that for specialties. That might come in handy later. Beating those really ridiculous extreme maps like Tar Pits, which was actually confirmed impossible hard naps, which is no agents, premiums, or specialties. So the hardest map in the game you can't even beat without using any kind of handicaps, like agents. Anyways, you see that these 2 temples here are on first. This one's on last to deal constant damage to any ZOMG layers. The nice thing is that it shoots basically straight down this line. So it's just going to shoot straight through all the mobs and such that are there, which is really good. This one's on first to get cleared up. This one's on first to get cleared up, because this one's basically this entire half of the map, which is, there's not much space left on this half of the map. It's basically just down here and then around, and then that's game. A map like this is impossible to get past around, I'd say, 250. Just because there's so little space for towers unless you want to sacrifice about 1,000 pontoons. Which I honestly don't feel like doing that. It doesn't seem worth it to me. So yeah. It's not important to juggle abilities in early, but late, very. Late game rounds also are longer than early game rounds, so you don't. If you're not after deep free play, you don't want rounds like that. I wouldn't play on a map like Monkey Lane where you can get, really high rounds because of all the space and how large the map is. But then again, I wouldn't even do Monkey Lane anyway because the leaderboard's overrun with hackers. Probably a bunch of 8-year-old script kiddies who have no strategies anyways. I'm not saying I came up with the strategy on my own. The strategy came up with a bunch of people who were really helpful to me over on the archive forums, which are way better than the new ones. The new ones are overrun with idiots. Just trust me on that. And now I'm gonna get a bunch of hate from the new forum people just because they don't think they're idiots, suggesting stupid crap like Bloonstar Defense 6 or adding the Dark Visible Titan to BTD5, which is a terrible idea. If DDT was added to Bloonstar Defense 5, maps like Tar Pits are now impossible unless you have about 1,000 cripplers. And people like Dalek Ruler, who spent all their time going for around 574 all 3 times round, would have to do his run again. And if DDTs were in free play, they'd have to wipe the entire free play leaderboards, because then you wouldn't even be able to get to the high rounds that other people hit, because DDTs speed right through your defense. Imagine the speed of a pink balloon. That is a Moab class balloon that takes about the same amount of hits as a Moab, but not in round like 300 where you'd expect it, but round like 120. It's ridiculous. That would be impossible to get past round 200. And in the extreme maps, wouldn't even be possible to beat. Tar Pits is so small, a DDT can go through in like a fraction of a second. You'll never pop it in time, and when you do, you're stuck with 4 cam grow ceramics. So don't suggest for the DDT to be in Bloonstar Defense 5. It's not meant to be. And don't suggest Moab class balloons that are stronger than the ZOMG. That would be impossible as well in free play, because it would have more health than a ZOMG, and it would include 4 balloons that are the strength of a ZOMG, and that contains 16 BFBs and 64 Moabs. 16 is already a lot. Now you're basically quadrupling it. That's overkill up the butt. Don't suggest Bloonstar Defense 6, and don't suggest DDTs. They're the worst ideas ever. Especially Bloonstar Defense 6. They're still working on this game, and there's so many games on Ninja Kiwi that use the Bloonstar Defense 5 engine. Monkey City and Battles use the same towers and engine. The same balloons and such. I got a little carried away there, I'm just saying. Don't really trust much of the people on the new forums unless they're like level 40 and actually have intelligence. Or I'd say like 30 or higher, really like when you should start actually listening to people. Those level 2s who just got their ability to reply on the forums are not the smartest people you will ever meet. They're far from. Trust me. So not much is happening. The setup is decent, I'd say. This would probably only be able to get me to, I'd say, around, like, probably less than 200, actually, just because of how strict this map is, how short it is. This map should honestly be labeled as advanced, like how the crypt should not be advanced. That's bullcrap. It should be expert or even extreme for that matter. You don't typically think of the crypt as extreme, but I don't think of Main Street as extreme. That one's expert, and people say, oh, the paths are too short for expert. And I'm just like, look at Death Valley. That bottom path is the killer of all runs right there. It's shorter than either Main Street's paths, so there's really no reason. Tunnels is a joke, should be labeled as intermediate, I'd say. But I'm getting carried away. I just finished 2 rounds with this okay free play setup. And I'll try to come back when the rounds get more hectic. See you guys later.